something going on. All right, so currently I work with clients on Zoom through the computer and in person locally. I also teach a weekly class and a monthly session. The class is on movement quality, and the monthly session is on corrective exercises. I do that for the local cancer support center, which I've met some very interesting folks there, and it really, I learn from them, because when you're faced with death, there's a certain change that goes on in you that's hard to explain, but they help me understand them, and I've had a whole different perspective from that. So today I want to talk to you about falls and preventing falls. And at the end, I'll tell you about the workshop that we're going to do next week, and I'll give you some highlights of it so you can have a better grasp of what it's going to entail. And during my talk, if there's something you just don't understand, just stop me and I'll make sure to make it as clear as I can. Well, from 2007 to 2016, older adult deaths from falls have increased 30%. It's drastic. It's estimated that by the year 2030, 50 million falls per year will occur. 12 million injuries. Falls are the 5th cause of death among those 65 and older. Every 15 seconds, an older American is in the emergency room for a fall, because of a fall. Every 29 minutes, an older American dies from a fall. So now I got your attention. 60% of those that fall will have a decrease in social and physical activity. That really, really hurts us. There's also a 3 to 10% risk that you'll end up in a nursing home. So why do the elderly fall?
Got a hand here, Ro.
I'm sorry.
I just have one question for you. When
Sure.
you say falls cause death, explain that a little bit. Elaborate. Because they fall in the pad, or I just can't. In my mind, I can't imagine why a fall would cause you to die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what is the rationale behind it?
You could fall and break your hip, and you will not sustain the surgery because your condition is frail. That's just one start. It's usually, you don't get to recover. And if you do recover, you're bedridden, but you're spiraling down. And yeah, and there is brain trauma that occurs. It's usually men that get the brain, statistically, brain trauma. Yeah, blood clots. All sorts of complications can occur from that. So those that are studying the falls realize that there's a wide range of factors associated with falls. And this is one of the reasons that they lack evidence to find out what the cause or circumstances are of falls. But let's look at who specifically is at a higher risk. If you've fallen before, you're at a risk of falling again, higher risk. Right? It's just like when you injure an ankle, you're at a higher risk to injuring that ankle. And that's just not for seniors, that's just globally, everybody. So people who have problems walking, lacking strength, having difficulty with balance. Also, if you're arthritic, diabetic, even some medications will set you up for falling. Another risk factor is functional limitations. Functional limitations. So this is Can you go grocery shopping? Can you cook a meal? Can you take a shower? These are limitations, functional limitations. And it all boils down to what Ed said at the beginning, which is not my topic yet, this time, and that is just general conditioning. Okay, so like you said, you're not training for the Olympics, but you're training to be more independent. Most seniors don't want to go to assisted living. They want to stay home, they want to see the family. But you gotta be able to do those things. You gotta be able to go to the grocery store, you gotta be able to open up a jar, you gotta be able to cook a meal, you gotta be able to reach for that shelf to grab a can. And these are modalities that you could learn without going to the gym, without bench pressing 300 pounds. It doesn't take that. It's very minimal. And again, I don't want to stray from my main topic, which is very serious, and it's talking about falls. So some of the medications that can cause or set you up for a fall are any sleeping pill, over the counter or prescribed, will lead to confusion and more likely falls. Also, depression and psychotic meds, those will tend to fog your mind and also contribute to falls. The other thing is that as we get very old, the medical community doesn't know if those medications work. Because we're in a place in history now where we're living a little bit longer, and the studies done on medication are done on 40-year-olds. So they really don't know. And a lot of my clients will come back where, oh, I've got spinal stenosis, and the doctor says that that's very common in older people. Or it's an old age situation or condition. When they don't know, they use those standard replies. But I can prove them wrong because none of my clients have spinal stenosis. So it's not necessarily a given. Yes, ma'am.
So when they prescribe this medicine to you, you say they don't know it's going to help you, they just because it's a regular thing that they prescribe, so they don't
Right. So what they do when you discuss your condition, they'll look into their books and look to see which medication fits those conditions. But that medication was studied on people more than half their age. So they're not going to be as accurate. Yeah, that's why let's see how this works. Okay, does it work? Okay, we'll take that off, or take another pill. They're just trying to figure it out. Yeah. So that's something that you can keep in the back of your mind and use it as needed.
I have a question.
Yes.
You said that depression brings.
Depression meds.
Oh, okay.
The medications, yeah,
Yeah,
medications for depression, yeah, that they tend to mess with our brain. All right, well, now, let's get a little bit more participation. You guys are participating already, though. So I'm going to read 3 statements, and with a show of hands, you tell me if it's true or false. Okay, first one. Into our 80s and 90s, using an assistive device should be expected. So assistive devices like a cane, or those that say are true. Let's see a show of hands. All right. So those that say, the rest of you think it's false?
Yes.
Very good. It is false. It's not your age that determines what you need or what you will do. It's your lifestyle, how you act, what you do. So if you remain active, there's no reason. Jack LaLanne died at age 95 and he was still doing push-ups.
Yeah, sure did.
Being on TV, using his mixer. Okay, I only got 2 more questions. Second one, seated activities has been shown to reduce falls. False? Everybody agree? False? You're right. Seated activities do not challenge your balance. You can do other things, but it's not gonna help you with balance. Okay, last one. Walking is an effective balance training exercise for older adults. True? True? Sorry. It's false. Walking in one direction doesn't really stimulate balance. Also, you can slow down, you can shuffle. That doesn't really help, challenge your balance. If you want to improve your balance, you've got to challenge it. That's the way you're going to improve your balance. And there's just different ways. Yes.
Walking backwards and walking side to side.
Now you're stimulating balance. Yeah. When you change directions, yeah. When you change directions, yeah. That does it. Walking up hills to some degree does. I've seen videos of seniors falling, one with a whack. I'll get to you guys in a second. I've seen seniors on videotape falling, and one gentleman was playing with his grandkid and catching the ball, and then when he stepped back, he kind of crossed his foot and boom, he fell. This other gal was in a hallway with a walker, and she wanted to change directions, and as she did that, she just went down. So changing direction, I think, is one of the key components of any fall preventative programs, which we're going to touch on next week. Yes?
What about stairs?
What?
What about stairs, using stairs?
Using stairs, usually the railings are there for you, and yeah, no, but there's a lot of folks that are afraid of stairs. I'll share with you some strategies for stairs next week too. That's part of, I'm already tapping into that this summer. Yes?
I am one of those that fell, recently broke my femur, connected to my new hip and my new knee 2 years later, and that happened because of the pain that was there. When I had surgery prior to that, they did not detect the infection that was in my leg. That was an emergency, so they went on and took care of it, but they didn't check to make sure that everything else was okay for that.
Yeah.
I am the one that was going through in the rehab. If it had been not been for my family and my friends coming often, doing all times that they could, I think my sanity, I would not have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one of the things that causes depression, especially when you're in a room with someone who doesn't get any visitors.
Yeah.
And you have to, being a Christian, you have to mentor or minister to them. And we're still friends and call each other, but she's still in rehab. Over a year, her family can't take care of her, and she can't be by herself.
Yeah.
So having my hip and my everything replaced twice. The worst thing for me was the medication for putting anesthesia, and it really caused a lot of imbalance in my body.
Yeah.
So you take antibiotics for the rest of your life. The medication sometimes will cause you, not supposed to be make you not be depressed, but it will cause you to be depressed if you're not grounded in Jesus. And that's my testimony. So I'm glad to have 2 legs, still be able to use this pain, that's why I say, and have been 15 years ago diagnosed with spinal stenosis, but by the grace of God,
Great. Yes? Standing on one leg is a balance exercise. Yeah. And when you stand on one leg, I'm just going to tie my shoes so that I don't show you how to fall. Standing on one leg, we do when we walk correctly. Because when you transfer the weight, you're on one leg. But sometimes we get up off a chair and we kind of stumble. Has that happened? Yeah. I'm gonna address that next, I'm gonna keep some of this for next week, so that you come to the workshop.
So you know next Saturday, he will be back and show you something.
Right, we're gonna work on, I'm gonna do that, just let me finish up and I'll give you some highlights of what the workshop is, because like I said earlier, the media shows exercise to the extreme. You know, what I just did is an exercise, this is an exercise. Right? Any movement that's gonna contribute to some type of health or fitness, that is an exercise, right? So that could be an exercise. All right, so what can you do about preventing falls? Take my workshop next week, that's right. Also, you can start an exercise program to build strength, to walk on balance, to work on gait, that's walking. At home, you can look for tripping hazards. That's one of the first things I saw here, was a cable here, and people were walking back and forth, and that's why we removed it. Tripping hazards that you might have at home, cords, or electrical cords, and those kinds of things. Throw rugs, get those out. Also, what you can do is put handles in your bathrooms so that they're accessible. Make sure that your house has adequate lighting, so that you don't not see something. And also check with your doctor at least once a year to find out if some of those meds can possibly be working against you, or maybe you might not need them at all anymore, right? Because a lot of us are over-medicated, which, you reminded me too, is that we gotta have a very elaborate dialogue with our doctors. Because I don't know if you sense this too, but in the last 5 to 10 years, the health care has become terrible care. I remember telling my doctor, I have a question for you once you stop staring at the computer. I walk in there, he only sees you for 12 minutes, and he's looking at the computer. I want someone to talk to me. I want to look at your face and tell you my issues, and I want to hear what you think.
Wow.
So you have to manage it. One of my clients, the fellow I said that is, he's 86. They wanted to do a stress test, and it's kept them up at night. And I said, well, why? Well, because you haven't had it in a while. But there's no signs, there's nothing to suggest that you need to take a stress test. He was already being stressed, just by the thought of the stress test. And now this doctor, he said, Roy, before I was talking to you, I would have never stuck up. That's not the way I was raised. I always listened to the doctor. But I told the doctor, no, I'm not doing it. And he says, oh, okay. Every test they order, they write themselves a check. It's like writing themselves a check, because they get more money for that. They've got to find something to test you on, because that is going to be more money in their pocket. So if you know that how the game is played, you're going to come ahead because you're going to question. Explain to me what are the symptoms that indicate that I should have this test. Explain to me what that medication is doing for me, and if it comes with too many side effects, which they all have at least 2 side effects. Explain to me why, and is there something with less side effects? Or am I going to need another pill to undo the side effects? Yeah, again, I'm getting off of my stock. But it's so interesting, I'm passionate about this stuff. Okay, so let me give you some resources. The CDC, if you go on their website, they have a section for senior health and falls. The National Institute on Health, they have a senior health section there. And the National Council on Aging are also another source for you to tap onto and see how you might extract some information that's useful to you. Now, let me tell you about the workshop. We will and we must work within your comfort zone. If your body feels threatened, if you feel that you might get hurt, your body will not learn. It's a protective mechanism. It's not, doesn't want to do it. So I create environments so that the person feels comfortable, and if that doesn't work, I'll look for something else until you feel comfortable, and then we'll start doing the exercise or movement. That's a must. We'll begin by learning body awareness, how your body should be moving in time and space. We'll look at getting up from a sitting position, getting up from a laying position. We'll look at how to stand and how to walk, and we'll have exercises for that. I'll also talk about footwear types, stretches, walking, changing directions, which I mentioned earlier, and I'll give you some strategies for the stairs. Of course, everyone's an individual. I think most of us have had kids. You know that no two kids are alike. Well, no two seniors are alike either. So you have to tell me what works for you, what your challenges are, so that I can be more specific in my response and my suggestions for you. So I look forward to having as many as you that can be here for that workshop next week. Are there any more questions?
What time
What
next week?
Oh,
And what time?
what time next week?
10 o'clock.
10 to noon. 10 to noon.
Is this Saturday, did you say?
I'm sorry?
Sunday? That's Saturday.
Saturday or
Next Saturday
next Saturday?
That's all right, then.
in the fellowship hall.
Fellowship Hall.
What's the cost? Not
Oh,
Your time.
Back. I've been blessed, and really, for years I've been thinking about what could I do with seniors. I see seniors working out terribly at the health club. I can't go up to them. I don't work there. I can't go up to them and say, hey, listen, this machine. There's this. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. I've been wanting to help in this way, and in fact, I'm reaching out to other churches. Because this seems to be a good place to gather folks and share what I can, and hopefully it's of some help. Yes?
I fell, the other day, and it took me a half an hour to get back up. What was I doing wrong?
I haven't seen you, but chances are you lack flexibility and strength.
So how would I get up? I fell, I had to literally crawl to the couch to help myself up.
Well, you can go, we can touch on this next week, but you can go on all fours, hands and knees, and then look for something to support yourself on, and then start pulling. Yeah. When no one taught us as babies how to climb or how to walk. They didn't teach us that. But I'm going to share with you. In fact, I had a client. He's still with me. He wanted weight loss, but he came walking like this. How can I get rid of this? I said, well, look at the way you're walking. I said, well, yeah, what about that? I said, let's take care of that first. Because if someone is walking like that and you put weights, you put them through a weight program, I would be adding strength to dysfunction. That's not what I do. In fact, a few clients I've lost because they wanted, oh, give me muscles. I said, no, because your frame's all skewed. We need to adjust your frame first before we start loading it up. And he didn't like that. But there were several that did understand that and said, oh, well, that's longevity. I'm going to be around. Because one of the things that happens in gyms is injuries. So I don't want anybody getting hurt. That's right. Did I answer your question, Sam?
I have a question.
Yes.
From 10 to 2 is 4 hours.
I'm sorry?
From 10 to 2 is 4 hours. Are we gonna have like a break in between that? What do we expect to do? Because I take a bus, and if I say, okay, drop me off at 10, pick me up at 2, I might be up there by myself.
10 to 12 noon.
there are sheets on the table.
Okay. Each table has a.
Each table has a sheet. If you're interested in coming next week,
We don't have one.
Yeah.
it was one on the table.